what is that? Wayne's World.
Oh my gosh, how old are we? Oh my God. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Carrie, who are we?
The Screaming Divas. Hello.
Yes, we are. Wait, there we are. The Screaming Divas. Yes.
Yeah.
Who did we interview today?
Oh, I mean, seriously, how excited am I? Will Liverman.
Yay.
Lyric Baritone.
Baritone extraordinaire, who they are calling now, what is it, overnight success, ascends to superstardom. Thank you, New York Times.
Thank you, New York Times.
For Fire Shut Up in My Bones at the Metropolitan Opera season opener. He is an amazing person, not just a singer, but
composer. I mean, they are workshopping this new work that's going to be a Chicago Lyric next season. How
the
awesome
Factotum.
Yep, yes. Totem. Not only, and then he released it. I mean, this man never stopped working even through the pandemic. I mean, released a new CD, has the new opera, just blew it out of the park with Fire Shut Up in My Bones, which is going to Chicago Lyric in the springtime. So if you missed it in New York, head to Chicago.
And a fun person.
Oh,
really fun, great personality. I think you all are going to love listening, watching this interview. So check it out. Please don't miss it.
Nope.
And we are back, like season 3 coming up, aren't we, Carrie?
Oh my gosh, that's like totally insane.
How did that happen?
I don't know, but I love it. I love these conversations with all these amazing artists like Will, and sharing their stories, and having even like young artists watch this, or even all singers, musicians watch this and hear the story of how he manages not only singing opera, but singing all of these new modern pieces. I mean, it's just cool. I love these conversations. Cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a great way for us to kind of meet these people, and for you to meet them and learn more about them before you go and see them on stage or listen to them in a CD, which he has a new CD that came out also during the pandemic. So please go out and buy it and see him on stage and check out this clip.
Clip. Thank you, Will.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
Stay safe, everybody.
Ciao, ciao. Who was your inspiration? Like when you were a kid, who'd you look up to and said, whoa, that's cool?
Yeah, I would say actually my high school teacher from Governor School. He passed away in 2008, sadly, but you know, he's a big mentor to all of us, Robert Brown, because he was my first voice teacher, and he also came from a gospel background, so there was that immediate connection there, and he was so great. I mean, there's still things, I feel like we all have, I don't know, at least for you, we have those, you know, those great mentors where you draw on like things they said, like, oh, that's what they meant, you know, like, or just like things that still resonate and like that you just really click. And Robert Brown to me was that person. He really was the one that inspired me to have a career in singing. And he was also a great pianist, and you know, someone to really respected in the community. So it was it was a moment when we were doing Fire, because Ryan Speedo Green and I have a scene together in Act 1, and we both were his students, and we both, you know, came from Governor School as teenagers, and he would have been really proud to see us on the stage.
Full circle, right?
Yeah,
Full circle. Awesome. That's
How are you? Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah,
good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yay. Where are you? You got the takeout mug.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm in. Just got back to New York. 2 days ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yay!
Hey, thank you for doing this, because I know you got a big concert tomorrow. So thanks for getting up.
Oh yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, happy
you
to
are
do
just
it.
like everywhere doing everything, aren't you?
Oh gosh, no. I mean, it's great to just be back working. You know, like coming out of the pandemic, and I mean, we're all just so unsure coming into the fall with Delta variant if things would happen. So it just seems like right.
I heard from my manager, you know, that things in Europe are not what they used to be.
Wow.
So
where are you right now?
I'm outside of Toronto still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep, that's okay. But I'm next week I'm in New York. Woo.
Okay. Yeah.
Tosca and Carrie.
I just got home and I get to see the leaves change. I'm really happy about that right now.
Oh, beautiful.
Which is Nashville.
Sorry, I'm outside of Nashville.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, but congratulations. First,
Oh, thank you.
like
Absolutely.
Thank
what
you. Yeah.
every review. I think you paid your mom to write those reviews before I shut up in my bones. I mean, what?
Oh my gosh. That's the best.
Isn't it? We just talked to
Oh.
Latanya Moore, and she's like, "But Will was off the charts," and we're
Yeah.
like,
No, it was a tremendous experience. I mean, I still feel like there's so much of it that, it'll be a long time before I really process everything that happened,
Sure. Yeah.
because there's just so many different things with it, first black composer, telling a story of a living person,
Mhm.
coming out of the pandemic, having it be the first show that people, it's just like so many different elements, and to see it come
opening night of the Met after being closed for so long,
right.
and I mean, come on, and such a not just a kind of character, such a great character to
Whoa.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Had you done it before, or was this the first time you done it?
It's my first time. Yeah, it's crazy. It all happened during the pandemic, actually. I mean, I knew they were going to do fire when I saw the announcement, but it was like for a future season. And
Uh,
then they during the pandemic, and I think after the events of George Floyd and everything, they decided to move it up to
Right.
this season. And then I got the call to audition virtually. Like, so I just sent in like a video
Okay.
and sing the first aria. Yeah.
Okay, I read this. There are a couple things I wanted to ask you about that. A, I read that you sent in an audition tape to Peter Gelb. And second, I read that when you look through the part, it was actually written a little lower. And then as we talked with Latanya, two things had changed and were rewritten or added for you.
Mhm.
But I want to know, in the middle of a pandemic, how in the world did you make a recording? Did you just like, you're in your apartment, throw your phone up and sing it? I mean, how did this happen?
I mean, it was just it happened so fast. I knew of this studio in Chicago that was still functioning. I mean, their business was like skyrocketing because everyone was doing Zoom this or
Mhm.
all these
Right.
RA uh, things and videos, and so I had just contacted them and said I needed a space and to record this aria. So I went there and just had did it on book, and just so I get something higher quality than my phone, to give them more of an
Right.
idea of the
Okay.
best I could. Yeah.
Was this
Mhm.
Lo Bianco's? Was this what is it Walhalla or her? Was it
Oh
her?
yeah, they no, it wasn't, but I
Okay,
did something with them over the pandemic. But yeah, it's this piano music forte place in Chicago. Yeah,
cool. Awesome.
Great. So is that where you spent the pandemic? Was it in Chicago or New York or?
Chicago. I had like low key moved to Philly to get back on the East Coast, and then that, like, I had a studio, and then it when the pandemic hit, because the plan was to move everything from Chicago to Philly during the pandemic, but then once the pandemic, I couldn't keep two places and not have any gigs, so
Right.
like I had to get rid of the Philly place, and it was like just kidding, and I retreated back to Chicago. Yeah, so
Okay.
I was there.
So
Yeah,
Chicago's still home or New York
yeah,
or okay.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yay, go
Mhm.
Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. I heard Macbeth was amazing. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was fun. It
Hmm.
was it was
Right.
off the charts too. I mean, like
Yeah,
one of those like it sounds like with you with fire, it's one of those that's going to stay with you for a while and
yeah.
just because David McVicker is so
Brilliant.
amazing,
Yeah.
brilliant, amazing,
Mhm.
pushes you and so
And
Right.
but how awesome, I mean, for both of you to open up a season like that after everything we've been through and to have live audiences. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
just added so much more amazingness and sparkle and joy and
you
happiness to all
too.
of it. So
Yeah.
Carrie got to sing for the first time since the
Yeah.
well, no, okay, she did a concert before, but she was in Seattle doing
Mhm.
Me, like with an orchestra, with people. Yeah. Okay, well, I will say most people during the pandemic, well, there were two, we've interviewed a lot of people. There
Yeah.
were either people who were like, I just can't sing, or there were people who I think are
Mhm.
like you, who are like, whoa, I got this gift of time. I'm
Mhm.
gonna compose an opera and record a CD.
Yes.
I mean, I've been watching you. You've been busy.
Did you have any downtime? Did you go like, whoa, okay, I need
Yeah.
to just chill, or was it just, I'm going to take advantage of this?
It was just it was a roller coaster of things. For the CD side of it, like started already in the process of, we had the rep chosen and the venue picked out, and then we had a few false starts with it. And then it just so happened, like, when everything was shut down, we had, there was this opening where we could do it. So that just happened to work out. And with the opera, it was something that was just like that we wanted to do for fun. Like my collaborator and I, we went to high school together,
Oh,
Kate
okay.
Rico. Yeah, and we actually both started in the same like opera program where we both got introduced to opera. And then he went on to become a producer and jazz musician. So we linked in 2018, and I gave him this idea about this barbershop opera, based off of Barber of Seville, and so that like when the pandemic hit, we had all this time to work on it. And the Lyric, they lost their season,
Mhm.
and they were looking for alternative programming. And I was just, I had all the time, so I was starting to raise money to do like a virtual workshop or something, just to get it off the ground and like
Yeah.
see where we could take it. I mean, we had all this time. Um, and then Lyric and I, we ended up linking up to talk about the workshop because they were looking for programming, and we just ended up doing the workshop with them. I mean, it was one of those like we have nothing to lose situations, kind of.
Well,
Um, for,
it's
for
amazing.
yeah,
We should tell everybody it's Factotum,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
called
The
it. And the
Factotum,
name of
yeah.
your CD, which you recorded during the pandemic, is
Mm. Dreams of
uh,
a New Day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
wow. Okay. And you were a member of the Ryan Opera Center in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did 3 years there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you only finished it in 2015, which means you're like still a baby.
I don't feel like it, but yeah, I guess. The pandemic is, yeah, oh my God. But
So,
yeah.
so the opera that this project that you started, there was something you just said where you were going to start raising money.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know for other people that have these brilliant, beautiful ideas in their brains, and from the idea to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did that work for you? So
Yeah.
you call him, you have this idea, you want to collaborate, you build this thing, and then the next thing is money. The next thing is Chicago Lyric. How did that? Who were you calling to raise money?
So it was organization Three Arts. They're a nonprofit in Chicago, and they advocate for women artists and artists of color and artists with disability. And
Mhm.
I won a grant with them a few years ago, and they have this amazing um, thing where you can rate. They do this crowdfunding thing for special projects,
Okay.
and you have like you can pick how many days you want to raise the money and your goals. And so I presented them with the factotum, and raised. We hit our goal to like just get the equipment that I needed to work with Rico virtually.
Mhm.
We hired, like a story consultant to help. I'm not a dramaturg or anything, so we wanted to have like a third eye to like,
Mhm.
help us build the story. And so that's the thing. I tell people, if you have passion projects, the support is out there. You just have to be the one. No one's going to force you to do it because we're also,
No.
you have to
Right.
sit down and like make a real plan. Like, okay, I have this grand idea, great, but then how are you actually going to go about making it come to life? And I think once you have the idea and you've put together your mission statement or whatever it is, people can see that, and people want to support things that they see you get so passionate about. They want to
Yeah.
be part of that and say like, oh, I helped that person do that thing. So
Well, you
um,
also have a personality that's very infectious. You're very
oh,
open and very gracious, and I think people are willing to work with people who are like that. And I
mm,
mean, so you composed this too
yeah, hmm,
and sang in it.
yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you a type A personality or what?
No, no, absolutely not. I'm so the most laid back. I've always had I mean, I grew up in the church, and gospel music and piano is like my first passion. So I always, arranged and things, but just for myself.
Mm.
Um, and it wasn't until like a few years ago when I started doing like more arranging and just compositions and just fun things. Um, and then I just, when I had the idea, it was just slowly, I would have a break and I would just like, what could this be? And just write something. And then, it just
Love
started to
that.
develop like that. Yeah. Mhm.
So,
What's
oh, sorry. So let me ask you this. What's it like to be on the other side of the table workshopping with singers, and singers going, and this doesn't work so great on my voice.
I
Let's
don't like
fix this.
Woo! Look, I have such an immense respect for composer. It's gone through the roof. because like we go to those workshops just like this is trash. Like what do you mean? It's just like
You're like, excuse me, I wrote
I
that.
know, but it's just yeah, exactly. It is every composer, no matter what their aesthetic, has put in so much time and work that we don't see. I mean, we all put in time, whether for what we do in our craft, but like when something like you've created that comes like from you and you're putting out, they're so vulnerable and it's just in a different way that I can't really, So walking into that workshop was the most terrifying thing, just to hear people like singing your stuff and then
I know, like,
working
yeah.
with them and like making sure that they, as a singer, like knowing, okay, this person needs this or I need to rearrange that, like it was a very interesting experience being on the other side. Yeah, I learned a
Jake
lot.
Jake
Cool.
Hagee said it was like birthing a baby,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
It's
it's like
funny, like
it's
how
painful.
how would a man know that? Like, how would a man
Exactly.
know what that's like? I mean, come on, people.
Uh-oh.
But, so what's
Hot
harder?
take.
Go, what's is it harder to compose or sing?
I would say composition,
Hmm.
just
Mhm.
because. I mean, just because I'm new at it. Like I've,
Yeah.
um, because you're always in your head. Like, and it's a
Mhm.
different sort of thing. You put something out there, and then it's just like a matter of letting it go and like letting someone else take that and make it their own,
Mhm.
and just like the collaboration in that. There's just I don't know. And coming up with words too. Like we did the libretto ourselves and um, trying to come up with rhyme. I mean, it's heavily rhyme schemed, or there's like a heavy rhyme scheme in it. So it's a combination of like sitting down and thinking of all those things and what works and what doesn't, and and it's a learning process. We actually have our second workshop next Monday.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah,
Cool.
back at Lyric. So this will be the first workshop was sort of like testing out the waters, seeing what we had, and this one will be a run through of the whole thing. And we're gonna bring in, hopefully a director, um, and to get it to the next phase. Yeah. Hmm.
Is there a scheduled date for this to happen in Chicago?
Like a
Yeah.
stage.
It'll be with the Lyric Unlimited, and it will premiere next winter in 2023. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it's still, yeah.
I love that. Oh
It's
my gosh.
Mm,
it's so amazing. Yeah. Kira,
thanks.
go. Sorry.
No, Sandra, you actually had a great question that we have about the mixing the genres of classical.
You said you have the gospel music background, right? And it's
Mhm.
obvious listening to this.
Yeah.
Somebody called it where was it? Genre bending. The
Hmm.
music of is
Hmm.
this the future of classical music? What and how would you describe the music of
Hmm.
your opera?
For me, I didn't want to step outside the bounds of like what I know. Like I know gospel and R&B. I know how those styles work, and I know the classical voice. And so like it really is, a lot of experimenting. And granted, like we know we're not the first ones to do this. There have been operas that have, crossed those boundaries. Like hip opera and just more like off the beaten path sort of things. But I mean, with this style, I mean, we're really just kind of really going all the way with just combining those elements and not being afraid to see where those things can take us. I would just call it like we call it a soul opera, if anything.
Oh, okay, cool. Love
It's a
that.
soul opera.
Somebody else called it a black opera.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean,
hmm
it tells a great story.
yeah,
And in my mind, in our minds, Fire Shut Up in My Bones is
mhm.
similar.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it really. What I loved about Fire too is Terrence's writing is so great because the elements that he uses bring coming from the jazz world, and
Mhm.
when you understand that language, it's easy to kind of insert your voice in those things and make it your own, and take because we did a lot of changes, not a lot, but we were able throughout the course of the run, to still let the piece develop, and if we had other ideas of oh, maybe I want to take this up the octave or, go a different direction.
Mhm.
We could do that because, the music was just like set up for that in a way.
Mhm.
Um, and so I learned a lot, like doing Fire and then writing Factotum, just of like, dramatic things. Not everything needs to be, like there's some things that can happen dramatically without it being you know, like it could be a dance, it could be an expression or a gesture, or you know, dialogue even,
Mhm.
which I think they use really well. Is like those little pockets coming in and out of those musical numbers of just like
Mm,
little moments of dialogue, which I
mhm.
thought was really interesting. Um, but yeah, you
Amazing.
know, it's one of those things. You know, for Factotum is, you know, it's still growing. We're gonna learn a lot next week
Oh,
in the workshop. And yeah, we'll we'll see where it goes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Yay!
yeah.
It's just amazing. Read, and I mean, can we ask how old you are,
I'm 33. Yeah.
Carrie?
I'm sorry. I'm like,
Girl.
oh, where's my walker? I mean,
Milo.
like, I'm an old lady. Like, what's
Oh
happening?
my
All
gosh,
this.
please. You guys look amazing. Are you kidding me?
It's called
Yeah.
I didn't have
Halo.
to say that, but thank you.
It's called Halo Lights right there.
Oh
Right,
my
right,
gosh.
right.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe your voice then? I mean, would you call you? I know you call yourself an opera singer, but I
Mhm.
mean, you sing a lot of modern music. You're
Yeah.
doing Malcolm X, the opera at the Met coming up, right?
Hmm.
Is that really your forte, or do you just call yourself a singer?
I got, yeah, a lyric baritone, a singer. Yeah, I think you know, with the new music, I feel like I was coming out of the program right when new works were really becoming more of a thing. Like we were seeing, you know, Opera Philly's festival was, you know, taking off,
Right.
and they're doing all these new commissions. Minnesota with Silent Night and
Mhm.
Manchurian Candidate, and you know, all these pieces that were starting to really come up. And I think it's great for young singers because it gives us an opportunity, you know, something that's never done before.
Mhm.
You know, for maybe the standard stuff, they're gonna go with the more experienced people who've done the role elsewhere. But if something that's new, they're like, oh, we can take a chance on you in this new piece because we don't know what it is, and like we can just, you know, build around, like have the stars and then build like the side roles, and that could just be, you know, a young new singer. And that's what the opportunity for me was. Charlie Parker's Yardbird.
Yeah.
Um, with Opera Philly, and I got to do Dizzy Gillespie next to Lawrence or Lawrence. I
Larry,
call him Larry. Lawrence Brownlee. Lawrence
Lawrence. Hey, we're
Larry.
gonna call him that
Larry.
now. Hi,
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Larry Brownlee. Yeah, so I got a chance to work with him coming
Cool.
out of the program, which was it was amazing. You know, I always looked up to him, and that was my first kind of like my break or whatever coming out of the Young Artist program doing that because it traveled. And I just ended up doing a bunch of new music after that. Like I just kind of was, you
Yeah.
know, called upon.
Marnie at the Met, right? And
Yeah.
Flight, and
Mhm.
you've
Um,
done a lot. Do you like it? Do you like modern music?
I love it. I mean, you know, other people say too, and I agree that it's just the best. You know, one of the best parts, obviously, is working with living and breathing collaborators and creators. You know,
Right.
and they're in the room when you need to make a change, or just building something together, which is an amazing thing. But I mean, I love the standard rep too. I mean, there's a lot of standard stuff I've never done. Like I've never
Yeah.
done Valentine, Belcore, all of the standard Don Giovanni. I've never done Cozy. I've never done, you know, all
Okay.
the
Hello,
roles.
opera
Yeah.
houses. Still listening.
but
Tell his agent. Anybody else?
Alex
but
Lecker.
it's been, you know, but I haven't, you know, I haven't minded so much just because, you know, I think it's a special thing to take on the mantle of like bringing in, you know, new works, and it's you know, you always learn something new, and to be able to work with, you know, composers, and then I, you know, have ideas, you know, I want to commission them for something down the line. You know, it's just like a
Sure.
nice relationship that's formed. Just
Amazing.
yeah, continuing, you know, making new stuff. So
I love that. I throughout the pandemic when we were interviewing people, there were several that talked about the future of opera is really in the new works and in
yeah,
storytelling, but also storytelling musically in a way that makes people want to keep coming back to hear it again and again and again. So it's not
right,
so modern that it's like, what am I listening to? But it's
Mhm.
modern in a way where why haven't we transitioned? Why aren't composers using Verdi and Puccini and Mozart and all that to make the next one? And part of
right,
me feels like Fire Shut Up on My Bones could actually be something that is now going to be a part of our canon. It's going to be now a part of the regular thing because of the audience reaction
right,
and the
yeah,
excitement of it. Does that make sense? It's going to be really interesting to see
yeah,
how well it plays out in Chicago. I mean, these are huge opera houses in the
yeah, yeah.
Northeast. And then could this be something that travels to Europe
Yeah,
and
yeah,
expand there. So I
Mhm.
love the idea
yeah.
of this actually storytelling that is really in a way universal in the emotions of it, but it's also specifically talking about part of our country and part of our
It's just,
storytelling that
it's
needs
a
to be
very
part of
American
our
story. I mean,
American.
it's a
Yeah,
North
yeah.
American story, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I mean, in my opinion, I think, new works, we need some level of access points to like
Yeah.
really, you know, get in there and, appreciate what it is. And, I think stories like Fire, and I remember even doing Fellow Travelers and how people were so moved by that. And
Mhm.
like, um, just, I think that's where opera can go, while also not getting doing away with the standard things. I
Right.
mean, because
Yeah.
they're standard for a reason. I mean, they're timeless,
Absolutely.
and you can always find new meaning in
Sure.
poem, Carmen, Traviata. Like it's kind of mind blowing when you think about like in our art form, in musicals we always best new musical, best do that, but like we've had these same stories for hundreds of years,
Mhm.
and it blows my mind that people still pack the house.
I
They
know.
know exactly this how the story goes from beginning to
Yeah.
end, but they want to hear it in a different voice and hear a new interpretation or a new production.
Right.
Right.
It's incredible how that's lasted,
I
for
love
hundreds of
that.
years. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I want to know, okay, like Carrie is like Miss Disney Princess. She can sing every Disney tune really well. You don't want to hear me sing pop music because it sounds like an opera singer trying to.
Hot, hot
It,
mess. Hot
it's a hot
mess.
mess.
Sandra goes
Carrie's
to
hurt.
karaoke. I am so there. Let's
Well,
go.
Let's go. Oh my,
you
yes.
do. Carrie is the best Disney princess
I love,
ever.
well, I
But
love all, I
Yeah,
mean, listen, I grew up with Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, and I just
yeah.
tried to mimic them. Sandy Patty, I wanted to just mimic all these women.
I
And
tried.
so, and then when you heard the princesses, you were like, oh my God, I have to sound like Ariel. So anyway, I am all down for karaoke. Let's throw down
Okay,
and see who wins some money.
I'll
How about
watch.
that?
But do you think now, okay, Fire must have been a different vocal technique than say singing Papageno. Do
Yeah,
you think differently? Because we interviewed John Holiday too, and
yeah,
I mean, amazing singer. How he, yeah.
Can
Do
go
you
in
yeah.
and
think
out.
vocally differently for each this genre bending, or do you just sing?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I try to make, it's finding like the lyricism and the that line in the new works, especially because one of the things, I feel like there's a lot of, in new operas, there's always so much information, right? And I feel
Mhm.
like there's these like little scenes that happen that like progress the story because there's a lot to tell. And there's so many words. And I think, in comparison to something like Bohème or something where you have like soaring lines that help
Right.
you get over the orchestra and, really get that sound out there, I just try and tune into that and put that in the newer works and find way, those that to create a line somehow. And Terrence sets that up so beautifully in Fire. And that one of the great things again about working with a composer that's right there is that from the beginning of the run, some of the stuff that was still sitting at a bit too low for
Mhm.
that size house, I was able to take it and look at it, and then I was like, wait, what if I put this up the octave and did this and here and that, and he was completely open for me to try things. Like mid run, I took the aria basically up an octave, and then like I saw Unique in the pit the night when he came back and was like, okay, like, and then
What's going
it,
on?
right, right, but eventually it settled, and then people like green lighted it, and then it said Latanya was doing the same, just
Mhm.
taking liberties and putting things in a way that just helps us, get through the piece. And I think that's something that needs to be. I don't know, when new works are created. One of the great things about Fire that I've never really seen before is it already premiered at OTSL, but
Right.
was given the room to grow and become like a grand opera, and
Mhm.
like the people singing it in this cast, like we were able to still like change the piece and make it fit our voices.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, I don't know if it's, people are, everyone's so busy with new works, you see it open and then that's it. Like people, I wash my hands of this, like this
Right.
is done. When it has potential to be better, or like maybe there's some dramatic things that like, oh, if they just did this or if they just did that, like
Right.
it
Sure.
can make it. I mean, you spent all this time on it. Why not make it the best that it could be? Like,
Right.
um, and if you have living and breathing creators, so that's I think one of the beautiful things about Fire is to watch it grow from OTSL, which was already a great hit
Right.
there,
Right.
but then to see it, adding Camille Brown to do the choreography, and then like things to really make the story,
Mhm.
what it was. So yeah.
You don't mind singing in English as opposed to singing in Italian. You
I
don't find
missed it. I missed the. I don't know how to say in foreign languages anymore. I gotta go back to IPA diction. I gotta go all the way back.
I know, because I find, I don't know about you, Carrie, but singing in English, I always find that I'd like get a little tension there because, I'm a nice
Yeah,
Midwest kind of gal, and I'm like, when
yeah,
I sang Susanna, it ain't. It's like, oh, that
yeah.
twang is coming back.
It's challenging. And especially for something like Fire. That's so. I mean, I come off the gate like, am I for this? And that, like
Uh,
it's so. The big challenge was keeping all of that somehow out of my throat. I mean, it's so, we're humans and we feel emotion, and like the rage is just so hard to keep out of here because it's
Mhm.
just, you want to muscle it and get it. I mean, it's an intense moment. So what else am I going to do than, really go for it? So I
yeah.
know. So it was always, having those moments, as with any, checking in with yourself, like, all right, let's chill out, like we got a
Yes.
whole opera to get through, and like, but it's hard. The English language is, it's so many
Brutal.
pitfalls, and it's hard to get out of if you keep, going
Yes.
down the path. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because I think both of us feel that way. And Tosca is something that we sopranos talk about all the time about in that
Mhm.
moment where Scarpia is attacking you. And then all of a sudden you've got to go into Vici d'arte. How do you have all of these intense, strong emotions and then calm
Yeah.
down enough to be able to pianissimi that top note for Vici? So
Right.
where's the balance in all of that? So I mean
Right.
that's our singer, our
Right.
job.
Yeah. That's always the thing. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did you where did you find the inspiration behind your character for Charles? What did you
Um,
draw on for that?
in addition to the memoir, I think, I mean, so much of it was just like, I gotta get this music learned.
Oh,
Well, I was gonna say it must been hard
Yeah.
learning that. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
hard.
it was a journey, you like make a plan for yourself. And I mean, it was just like this weird thing because like I was still nervous. I didn't even think the show was gonna happen again. Like I was
right.
waiting for it. I was like, I'm putting all this work and countless
Mhm.
hours just for to get that email to say we're sorry, the Delta variant has ruined everything. But I was just like, no, I have to, press forward as if it's gonna happen. And I don't know, drawing on the memoir, and honestly, like kind of just, learning it and doing as much research as I could, and then just kind of opening myself up to Jim and Camille, and, kind of getting their
Yes.
ideas and building it together, like scene by scene.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, and that's the beautiful thing, about any opera is just like the journey of, you go see a show opening night and it's completely different by the last show, because you
Right.
still find things, you get more comfortable, like so that's exactly what happened with Fire. I still feel like, I was, discovering new things with Latanya and Angel, and,
Mhm.
and it's great to have a second run at that kind of so soon in the same season to like basically picking up where we left off, and, taking it and, making it even better for Lyric.
I love
Yeah.
that. I
I
I
mean, how was it with COVID with Macbeth, like Chicago in Chicago world? Like, did they do full seating, or how was that
Yep,
coming out of,
full
yeah.
on. The lyric is like you have to be fully vaccinated to come and watch the show, but and wear a mask. But
Mm.
you know what? I have to say it felt like real opera. But
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to sing a lot during the pandemic
Yeah.
with full audiences well over in Europe. But the
Wow.
whole rehearsal with the mask, forget it. Ugh.
awful.
Terrible.
Okay,
And I know we're
sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
go.
You know what really was nerve-wracking? It after learning how to sing in a mask and figuring all that stuff out, which was drama, I'm blowing over that. But
You've talked about it.
what scared me though, and fear really, was we get tested, and what happens if that test comes back and it's positive and the show's the next night? Does that mean that I don't sing and I don't get to make my money? I mean, there was this constant holding of my breath of thinking, what if I'm positive? I've done everything I can. I'm vaccinated, I'm getting the booster in 2 weeks, all this stuff. But what happens? Does that mean that I don't get paid? and I
That
can't
was
sing.
scary.
What do we do?
We were all in that same boat, and it's scary because like I was in that same thing. It's just like, yeah, what if we get
Right.
it, and
What if
what
we
if your
get it?
cover gets it? You know, like it was a very thin.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's
Oops.
it's insanity. All I know is that I think I prayed to everything you could pray to.
Yes.
It was
yeah,
like Jesus, Buddha, Allah, like
yeah.
all of it. I was like, please let it be.
I've had 112 COVID tests since January 1st.
Oh
Girl,
my
your
I
gosh.
nose
have
hates you.
no sinus passages left. But um so okay, so they're calling you an overnight success.
Oh my
Overnight success. Like
god.
what? Ascends, what did they say? Ascends to superstardom.
Oh gosh.
How do you deal with that? Like
It.
at
I don't.
33, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I feel like you know, I was always just the type of you know, just to get the job and to make a living was enough for me. Like, you know, battling it out at NOLA Studios and Opera America for that one job, you know, like
Yes.
doing competitions, you know, just to like call myself a singer and be like, this is what I do for a living was enough. And to all of a sudden like come out of the pandemic and then hey Will, your bus is over here, like your face is over here and then there. That was just like it was so weird. Like I never got used to it.
So
And I don't
amazing.
know. For me, it was just like still making it about the work, you know, like because at the end of the day, I mean, that's what you know, you're there for the job. Um, and so I was just like kind of just staying in that mindset of you know just keeping, not doing anything differently. I mean, just you know continue to get better and to all those things. But
Do you
yeah,
feel more
I've never
stress?
been used to it. Yeah.
Do you feel, because I know that when somebody, when I got a really great review and kind of started
Yeah.
going, I
Mhm.
felt like, oh shit, now I really got to bring it A game every
Yeah,
performance. You're
it's
like,
felt
oh, I was
yeah.
coasting before, but now I'm like, oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, people expect that like right from the yeah because they know what's yeah. No, it's just it's strange. Like I've never because I mean I've just always been you know just trying to make it by and work and so yeah I don't know. I feel like I'm still processing so much of it. You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but tell me this. Please tell me that you got a photograph of you on the bus, like you standing maybe in front of the bus. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like to clown a bit, and you know, my friends, you know, I made a joke on my Instagram like, oh, I've got to reenact the Sex and the City scene opening. They're like, oh, you have to do it. So I found some friends of mine who do some video, and we reenacted the opening for it, and
I
I put it
love
on my
that.
Instagram. And it was a lot of fun, and
That's
just silly.
hysterical.
Just silly. It's like when else am I gonna have this opportunity? You know, so.
You
Pinch
never
yourself,
know.
isn't it?
Listen,
Yeah,
your
right.
career, you never know. I have a feeling it's going to happen again. So there we go.
Uh,
Yeah.
So why opera? I mean,
Mm,
you said you came from, you have gospel backgrounds and church
yeah,
backgrounds. It's obvious listening
yeah,
to the opera that you wrote.
mm,
Um, but why opera? Why not pop or
yeah.
you know?
R&B.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have, I don't know, mainstream. I guess that's where all the coins reside.
I'm telling you, like people
Right.
say, Sandra, oh,
Yeah.
you're an opera singer. You're like, I'm like, I'm not Beyonce. There you go.
People are making so
Different
much
paycheck.
just from the studios with their microphones. I'm like, the joke was on us. No, but
I
it's,
Right.
know. How stupid
uh,
were we? You know, like,
Mhm.
oh well.
No, but for me, it was the Governor School for the Arts in Norfolk, Virginia. It was an all arts school, and they had different department: musical theater, dance, instrumental, visual, and they had a vocal program. And I auditioned for the voice and instrumental. Um, and then the people in head of, at the that were in charge of the voice program wanted me for the voice program. And so I just went in that direction. I had no idea that it was really like a classical voice program for you know like basically like opera for high schoolers.
Okay.
Um, and so I started my first voice lessons there. We did fully staged operas. It
Whoa.
was kind of like a yeah. People always make fun of. I mean, it's because there are actually a few. There's six alumni from that same school that are on the Met stage. So like Ryan Speedo Green and I were at that school. Freddie Ballantyne, who's Sport and Life, and Porgy from that same school. He was behind
Yeah.
me. Crystal Williams, who's in Knocknaughton. Josh Conyers, Marjorie Owens. We
Yes.
all came from that same
Wow.
school. Um,
That's
yeah,
incredible. Okay.
yeah, that's where we got our start there, and it was amazing because we would take trips to New York and go see shows at the Met.
Amazing.
Um, and so that's what really opened up my world into opera. And it just got to a point where it was like, well, I've been doing this, for 4 years, and as let's take it and apply to undergraduate schools, and it just kind of kept going from
Cool.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I love
I
it.
love that. So going forward, what's next? And I mean, I love that you've kind of created your own niche.
Hmm.
So what's next?
Oh, well, you know, getting getting this Factotum off the ground and doing the workshop with that, and a few finishing out the season doing Flight, which will be my first time doing that.
Oh,
A lot
cool.
of great things about that opera.
Right.
Um, Akhenaten is coming back,
Mhm.
so I'll reprise my role in that.
Like
Um,
goals. Where do you see
oh yeah,
yourself? Like five
yeah.
years, you know what I mean? Like how,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I want to be, yeah. For me, like, I want to be continuing down this path of just collaborating and creating new stories and being on the other side of the table. um I was just in Virginia last week, and I was appointed as like creative advisor with Virginia Opera, which was special because it's
Cool.
my stomping grounds, and
Mhm.
so I'm really excited to work with them.
Awesome.
um, and I love the new direction that they're heading and heading
Mhm.
towards. And so like more things like being continuing to be an advocate for diversity and inclusion in the arts, but like beyond our front facing artists. There's so much that makes an opera company run, and I think there's lots of change that we still need to see in the arts world. And
how are we
just
going to
being
do that? How are we going to keep this momentum going?
we have to just continue to be diligent. That after George Floyd can't just be like a moment where something happens and like, oh well, now we care. Like we have to continue to you know telling new stories, obviously. But beyond that, like who is everything from our board members, getting support from that, and like finding and diversifying our boards, and how are we raising our money, how are we like kind of going from like where it really like the source of every company and how the money is raised, and who has the say on the other side of the table,
Right.
because there's still really no representation there.
No.
um, so that to me is where the real change needs to happen. And but I gotta say, I mean, it's like all that to say that I mean, I think we're heading in the right direction. We're seeing so many more collaborators and creators of color telling new stories.
Yeah.
More diversity in our on our stages.
Mhm.
So I think it's a start in the right direction. We just have to keep um, going with that. And yeah, I want to just continue to be an advocate for that in any way I can.
I think
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
I think there's a huge issue with our education system too. And I think that starting kids younger, understanding and learning and putting, and even some of these opera companies that maybe can get into the schools. I mean, I know we've done that before, but maybe we need to engage the communities in a different way to get young people involved, because they're the next generation of, does that make sense? So there's part of
Yeah.
me
Oh
that's like,
yeah.
I want to change what we have right now, where we all are at in our careers, but I also want to go back. I think that there's strength and there's something there within our education system.
Yeah. Take
That's really
Factotum to schools.
Yes. That's really where it is. It's the educate because we are searching around like where are our black conductors and where are our black it's just like, but it
Yeah.
starts from there has to be an interest, and from the beginning, and to get to that point, of becoming a professional and doing it and going out there. So I mean, if it wasn't for governor school, Ryan wouldn't be singing, I wouldn't be singing, Freddie wouldn't be singing, like we all be in a different field. So like we need more of that. Like that's where it starts, to get
So,
our black, people of color, the leaders on the other side of the table,
mhm.
our conductors, directors, like, but yeah, it starts from going way, way back and drawing interest at an early age.
I
Yeah.
feel like I remember as a kid growing up in Florida, which is highly like Texas, it means music
Mm.
used to be this huge thing with art schools, and they still are there, but there was also this wonderful thing about not only just bringing the kids to the opera companies to see a show, but there was something about in the community inviting parents too, so that parents who might not have ever heard this genre are now hearing it. And if their kids get excited and the parents know what they're talking about, it's this wonderful, magical thing.
Conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah.
So, who was your inspiration? Like when you were a kid, who'd you look up to and said, "Whoa, that's cool"?
Yeah, I would say actually my high school teacher from Governor School. He passed away in 2008, sadly, but he's a big mentor to all of us, Robert Brown, because he was my first voice teacher, and he also came from a gospel background, so there was that immediate connection there, and he was so great. I mean, there's still things I feel like we all have. I don't know, at least for you, we have those those great mentors where you draw on like things they said, like, oh, that's what they meant, like, or just like things that still
Yeah.
resonate and like that you just really click. And Robert Brown to me was that person. He really was the one that inspired me to have a career in singing. And he was also a great pianist and, someone to really respected in the community. So it was it was a moment when we were doing Fire because Ryan Speedo Green and I have a scene together in Act One, and we both were his students, and we both, came from Governor School as teenagers, and he would have been really proud to see us on the stage.
Full circle, right?
Yeah,
Full
yeah,
circle.
mm,
That's amazing. Well, I don't know, Carrie, if you have anything else you want to ask, or do you want to do rapid fire and then
Yeah, I'm fine with rapid fire. I'm just so excited for you and excited for the
Yeah.
future. And I saw Alex Fletcher. He came out to Seattle, and I
yeah.
didn't even say hi to him. I just was like, do you think Will would want to be on the Screaming Divas? Because we're
Oh, gosh.
Yay!
he must have thought I was nuts. But
Oh
I
my
love
God, I
Alex.
love Alex. Yeah. And Seattle looks so great. That was actually, that was one of my first things I was supposed to do that poem in Seattle before the pandemic. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Seattle, so I'm glad that looked really
I'm
amazing.
happy. I'm happy it came to fruition, and I was
Yeah.
so fortunate. I mean, it always breaks my heart when you're filling in for someone because you don't know why. Now, if that person got a better job, then yay. But
Right. Right. Hey.
little
Yeah.
like I don't like to post about, oh, hey, I'm going la la la, because you know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's something about
Sure.
feeling, especially after the pandemic, it just makes it 100 times worse. So I was grateful
Right.
for the work and grateful for the opportunity, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining us and congratulations again.
Oh, thank you.
We're it's
It's a pleasure.
so great to hear of
Yeah.
someone just boom, just killing it.
Oh,
And
wow.
especially in our business and really opening doors for so many people. And thank you.
People. And especially like through the pandemic. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, one more thing. When you said that you're doing the workshop next week, and
Yeah.
after the whole time working with Terrence and changing things to making them fit for you, has that had to impact you even more for next week when you're workshopping
Oh,
together?
1,000%, because at the end of the day, if you're a composer, you want the singers to be successful because we're the ones that are putting it up. So if you're writing something where it's still like, well, this is what I stand by and I need to have this B flat here because it represents the, whatever. But then that singer is having a problem, like you want to make it so that the singer feels comfortable in what they're doing. So then they can make it their own.
Right.
If it's just a matter of just like keeping up to like get the rhythm right and the note and this all whatever the thing is,
Yeah.
and they're just not being able to really grasp it and like put their own thing on it, then and then it's just like, and then everyone is not it's at a disadvantage. The story kind of loses its but I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I mean we're huge on the collaboration and the beautiful thing about an original story is we have nothing to draw on, so like we can just change whatever we want. Like doesn't work, great, we'll just write something else. So but yeah, I've learned a lot from doing Fire and hopefully bringing that same energy and feel into
So
Factotum so everyone feels good about what they're doing. So
I love that.
Where
Yeah.
can people hear you next, by the way, just so they can your next few engagements?
tomorrow I've got the Chamber Music Society at Wolf Trap, and then again at Alice Tully. Be doing a few featuring other instrumentalists as well. I'm doing Ravel, Don Quixote, and the Shostakovich Spanish songs.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of Russian. And
So sorry.
Good luck. Good luck.
yeah,
So sorry.
and it's strophic. It's strophic on top of that.
Oh no! Oh no! That's the worst. Wait.
I was like looking through and I saw that repeat sign and I was like, no.
No,
But
it's
they're
not
great
enough
songs though.
Russian.
I know. And then I have one performance of the Holiday
Oh, that's
Tamer
right.
Magic Flute. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
Papageno. So
Cool.
on New
So,
Year's Day. So
oh yeah, Happy New
yeah,
Year's. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, how awesome. Like, but it's a year that we're singing and working. Praise Jesus.
yeah, right,
Mhm.
right.
So people check out Will Liverman. Make sure you buy
Right.
tickets.
Go ahead. You
Carrie,
go.
rapid fire. Do you want to
Rapid
start rapid
fire.
fire?
Rapid fire.
I'll let you start this time.
Oh, me? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
What do I want to ask? Oh, what is the craziest rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
um, that I love Wendy's restaurant, and it's not so crazy, but it's true. Wendy's is my favorite. I wrote a parody song about Wendy's to the tune of "All of Me" by John Legend.
That's
know.
hysterical.
Really?
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. I kind
Oh,
of.
we're gonna have to hear that sometime.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wendy's. So you're my husband loves Wendy's, and I'm like,
What?
I'm sorry, I do not love the flavor of the beef. Just saying. Oh
Of the
no.
what?
Well, the
Of the
beef. The beef tastes weird to me. I don't know.
What's your favorite fast food place then? If you had to eat fast food,
I
if you had to pick one fast food place,
McDonald's.
okay, I'll give you that.
All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
Their
tell
French
us
fries.
what you eat.
Their French fries are like crack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
We have a
All right, I'll
phrase.
do that.
French fries fix everything. So if we're having a bad day, McDonald's
McDonald's
French
fries.
fries it is. So there you
And
go.
I'm sorry, Miss Rabinovsky, but what do you get after a show?
Chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, yes. They got rid of that McDonald's across from Lyric, and it broke my heart.
I know. There's
It's like a
nothing
bank
there now.
now.
Carrie
Yeah,
doesn't.
or you,
There is nothing there.
nothing.
I know. Okay. What gets you up in the morning?
Breakfast.
Nope.
Bacon, egg, and cheese
Okay.
bagel. Have one. Yeah.
Wendy's.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I'm sorry, but New York City has the best breakfast bagel sandwiches.
They do.
They do.
But the Midwest has the best like breakfast like places because
Um,
yeah, but the bagels you can't find them anywhere else. But yeah, I had a bagel this morning. I went to Zucker's Bagels.
Oh.
okay,
Breakfast wakes me up.
okay, I'm sorry, I'm
Goddess
hanging up on-
Baker, right? The Goddess Baker in Chicago.
Which
Gary.
place?
Goddess, the Goddess Baker. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the goddess. Oh, I've been there.
You're gonna have to find that. It's very good. Breakfast, lunch. Yum, yum, yum. Carrie, go.
I need to know this. I don't want to gain weight on a job. Okay.
They have healthy stuff. They have avocado toast.
Oh, her eyes lit up, kind of. You know.
I know, but then I was like, man, aren't we past that avocado toast phase? Like, don't you
They
have
have other stuff too. They have yummy stuff. Go.
Okay,
Go,
sorry,
go,
this
go.
is not rapid fire. Okay, sorry. What's the worst habit you have that you will never break?
Ooh.
Wow. Being last minute. I'm just like,
Oh, really? Oh, no.
and not like in a, I don't know. Yeah. Because that's just how my brain works. Like I know I'm gonna get it done, but like, if you tell me something that's 6 months, it needs to be done, and it's like 6 months away, it's just like my brain, something just sets off my brain where it's like, oh, it's coming up, so I need to get it done. I don't know. That's just how my brain works. Then
Renee
I stress
Fleming said the
myself-
same thing. Renee
Yeah.
said, if I don't have a timeline, I'm never going to get it done.
Yeah,
So I have to know, okay, this is coming in a month, this is coming in 2 months. Blah, blah, blah.
right. And I stress myself out every time. Yeah. Last minute.
What's a song that always gets stuck in your head, Will?
A song that always gets stuck in my head would have to be "Baby Got Back," Sir Mix-a-Lot. It's my karaoke go-to.
Is it
So-
really?
Oh, I got to hear this.
Yeah.
Carrie, we are doing this. We are in Chicago. I am going to fly to Chicago just to
Okay.
hear that.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Throw it down. It's about to happen. Okay.
Miss Alchema.
Okay. Oh, do you have any favorite? I love this question. I feel like I ask it too much, but whatever. Do you have any famous or favorite wardrobe malfunctions during a show?
Oh, my collar always goes up weird. Like it's always like it's like always the right side of it, and it just never gets down. Like every time I look at myself, they're like, there goes my collar again. Like It's always a collar thing for me.
So
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
always popping your collar on stage.
Yeah, it's always like popped a little bit. Yeah, it's always, and that and a bow tie. Sometimes I get really self-conscious when I do concerts that it's like messed up. So like, I'll have my binder and I'll like slowly like look down, or like I always like just position it because it's always a little crooked. Yeah.
Double face tape, little secret. Yep.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
See, you're too young to know. Favorite word?
Favorite word? Vibes.
Okay.
I
Least
like that.
favorite word.
Okay.
Least favorite word.
Particles.
Particles. Why? Because of the way it sounds in the mouth or feels in the mouth?
Like food particles. I don't like that word.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're right. That's horrible.
Isn't it terrible?
Mhm.
My dad used to say that randomly. I don't know. It's like, make sure you get all the food particles out of your mouth, like after you eat. It's like with the toothpick. I'm like, ugh, gross. Like, I hate that.
Dad, no. Okay. What is the worst job that you've ever had?
Pizza Hut.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Everyone's cholesterol went up in our family because we would take all of the leftover pizza home, and it was just, yeah. I
Your
couldn't
family's like, oh no, Will, not pizza.
bring home any more pizza. We're gonna,
Can you even,
yeah.
can you even eat Pizza Hut now?
Not so much, no.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Carrie, do it.
Favorite cuss word in any language?
Oh, probably just damn.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Damn.
I haven't heard that
Yeah.
one in a while.
I
Okay.
heard that. Fuck is usually the number one
Right.
because you can use it but you know, damn, you can kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
Right. Or,
I don't think I'm a good cursor, too. I don't know. Other than what I do in the show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But that's probably my favorite word. Or like yeah, I resort to that a lot. Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Last one.
Oh, sorry. No, my husband, when I hear him say a cuss word, it's weird. Like it's very rare that he says it. It just doesn't sound right coming out of his mouth, like
Yeah.
out of his body. Now,
Yeah.
me, on the other hand, it sounds like a second language. It's
Carrie is a trucker. Carrie is a stage and
my
or a
God.
trucker. Last question.
Yep.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you walk through the pearly gates?
Oh my God.
Well, oh my God. There, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. God.
I don't know. Good job.
That's nice.
An old pat on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
Yeah. I would want. Yeah. I would audition for the choir up there. Sounds like it'd be a dope choir.
Yep.
I think you get in.
I don't know. There's a lot of maybe. I don't know.
I think you get it. I think you get in. Very cool.
Listen, I'm getting in, but I'll probably be in the back by the buffet table. I always say that. I'm like
In your Disney princess
in
costume.
my Disney princess.
Yeah.
I'm here. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And you're gonna be seeing Baby God.
I don't know if I'll get in singing that. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that. Thank you for joining us. Really, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Seriously. Yeah. It's really,
Yay.
it's been great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Are you
amazing.
kidding? No, I've been watching what you've been doing over the pandemic, and I was like, and then with Fire Shut on My Bones, I'm like, that's why I freaked out when I saw Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get Will. We gotta get Will. All right.
But thank you for joining us, like she said, and I look forward to seeing you in Chicago and hanging out and getting to know you more. So
Yeah.
and good
yeah.
luck next week with your
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Take care.
Great
Be
honor.
well, and
Yeah.
we will see you soon. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.